Hi guys, so we are at Inti Medical taking our first PCR out of 5 PCRs. Oh, the class already. Let's go. Yeah. So really excited to document this journey. We just paid for the PCR. You want to tell them how much it is?
It's 125 net per person, and we are at this clinic that is at Kovan. Just happened to be very near where we stay.
Super close
so
by.
thankfully, and we are quite excited because we're just 2 days away from our trip.
Yay! Let's go!
See you guys.
Hey guys, it's super surreal, but here we are at Changi Airport to actually take a flight. So we're heading off to Korea and just really excited to document this journey because coincidentally the last trip we had was to Seoul as well, and yeah, it just shows how much we love the country. Really excited to document this whole VTL experience. So can't wait to show you more. We walked to our designated row only to realize that they actually require a physical copy of the PCR test. We thought that the soft copy one would be enough, so thankfully we are at Changi recommends to print the physical copy.
That is your point number 1 for you to take note.
Printing of our swab test result was $2 per page. So we just spent $8 at Changi recommends to print our swab PCR test results. Yeah, so guys, print your physical copy, okay? Don't print it here. It's a scam! PCR vaccination letter. Please keep it safe with you. You will need to put that on when you arrive there in Incheon, yeah? Oh, okay. These are tags that we'll need to wear upon arrival in Seoul so that they'll recognize us as the VTL travelers and will be exempted from any form of quarantine.
Through the departure gates, and we have 2 hours to spend. What else do we do? Let's go.
50%.
Feeling a bit tired. It's 1 AM and we're just waiting to board.
It's pretty crowded.
Yeah, just one last immigration to clear before we board the plane. And we just can't wait to crash.
Good morning, welcome on board. This way, Hi! We have reached Seoul and we are wearing our VTL tag. Yay! Excited!
Good morning. It's like 8:30 over here.
We barely slept on the plane.
We really barely slept. It was such a full flight.
Yeah, man. I thought because we were separated, so I thought like, wow, we would have the whole row to ourselves, but nope. We were sitting with like strangers.
After a 3 hours wait at the immigration, thankfully we finally cleared it and we are en route to go and collect our luggages. What do you have to say about this?
The wait is too long. We'll elaborate further soon.
Exactly.
We are literally the last ones, or last few, to take our luggages. The fact that they've already stopped the belt. What a journey. Okay, we're off to take our PCR test. So we are going to take our PCR test, rushing as much as possible because of course the earlier you take the test, the earlier your results will come out. So yeah, I guess there's a lot of guides around to help us. Pretty fast-free process so far. So we are are done with our PCR test and we're just going back into the airport to check on the various transport modes available back to the city. Because from our understanding, you are encouraged to take a cab back, which will cost about $70, $80, $90 SGD. And then we heard online some people were saying that you can take the bus. So we're just going in to double confirm on all the information.
Our first order of business is to go to the convenience mart.
Find out that we can actually take the train. So cost-wise, I think it's about 4,000 plus won, versus if we were to take a cab, it would have cost us $60 to $70. But I think to take into consideration is also the duration of getting to the hotel, where we're staying is in Gangnam. Take the taxi, it will be about an hour or so. If we take the train, I think the information person was saying it will take up to 2 hours, but since we have to wait for our PCR test, which will take 3 to 4 hours, there's really nothing to lose on our side lah. So we're like, okay, let's just take the train. Hi guys, so time check, it's 4 PM in Seoul right now and we're in a hotel room and we finally got our negative PCR test results, which also means we are officially able to go out of the hotel and start our holiday for real. So I think just a quick run through on the whole process. We arrived in Seoul at 8:30 AM and the whole immigration actually took us 3 hours, which is considerably quite long. There were maybe lack of staff and things like that. There were basically 3 stations. The first station was like a quarantine document station where they just check through your PCR results, etc. And there's a second station where they will look through your documents, etc. And then the third station is the immigration where they officially chop your passport. And then of course after that we went to quickly take our PCR test, and that was about 12:30, and now time check 4 PM. So the whole results took about 3 hours, 3.5 hours or so. So yeah, we are finally able to kickstart our holiday. So just done with our PCR for the 6th and 7th day, and damn, they really just shove it up your nose and it really hits differently. Korea's PCR hits differently, man. So another reason why it's been a nightmare is also because of the opening hours. So online it states that it closes at 5 PM, but we came here yesterday at 4:30, 4 PM and they were already closed. We came today at 12 PM and then they were off for lunch break. So we had to wait all the way to 1 PM. So I think one tip is really to get a Korean number so that you can call them. It's just easier that way, and really check on where the nearest COVID PCR test center is. We just picked up our medical certificate for our PCR test results for day 6 and 7. Negative, thankfully. So what we didn't know was that we had to actually physically pick up these documents. We thought that we'll be notified via email or the number that we input. So yeah, that was something new to us. And of course, we were panicking the last few days, like, hey, where's our results? And we tried calling the medical center a couple of times, but to no avail, of course. And of course, a little bit of language barrier here and there. So we did have to pay about 20,000 won each per medical certificate for the printing of it. And we clarified with them that there is no soft copy available at all. So just do take note that you have to come down physically to collect this. Another thing to note is that for the departure, you do not require a PCR, ART will do, and you can actually take it at the airport similar to arrival, which makes things a lot more convenient. And of course, waiting time wise for ART is a lot shorter than PCR. So yeah. So I booked the ART test on the same Safe2Go website for the departure, and we decided to do it right before our flight because we've read it online that it's pretty much okay and we'll get it in time. The next thing to probably take note of is the booking of the PCR test on arrival at Changi Airport. You actually do have to sign up for an account, pay and everything in advance before arrival. Of course, you can go straight there to book it on the spot, but from what we heard, it just saves a lot of time if you book it beforehand. Once you sign up for an account, you basically have to add a trip. You can actually add a traveler that will be coming on with you. And yeah, you have to fill in all your typical passport details and everything. So once that's done, you can actually book your PCR test right here and make payment directly. So the Korea website one, you don't have to pay online, you can pay on site, but for the Singapore one, you have to pay it online. There is a travel checklist, and do take note of this SG arrival card and health declaration form, which you need to apply and submit. You can only do it minimally. The earliest basically is 3 days before your flight. Even if it's 24 hours before, that's totally fine as well. Then I think it's a really good guide where as long as you have all these 4 things, then you're good to go. Waiting to get the ART done. It's the same place to take the PCR. So they'll make you wear gloves, which is good, I guess. Done with our ART test. Still hurts as much. As mentioned, they're really brutal here. So we paid about 84,000 per person for the test. No complaints about the whole process. It was very, very fast. It took us less than 30 minutes. You register first, pay your money, and then see the doctor for less than a minute. They'll ask you like, do you have COVID symptoms, etc. And once that's done, you just go for the test right away. It's definitely cheaper if you do it in the city, but just for the convenience of the fact that you need to come back to collect your certs physically, so doing it at the airport just makes a lot more sense. Just come maybe like 3 hours before your flight. They did say that the ART test would take about an hour for the results to be out, so we just have to come back 1 hour later to collect our cert.